Hi, everybody. Welcome back. Here's the other one that I was going to talk about with Lizzie Borden. I watched this on Amazon Prime. Had no problem watching it, unlike, I mentioned in Annie, in that first video. It's called The Legend of Lizzie Borden. It was released in 1975, and it has Elizabeth Montgomery of Bewitched fame playing Lizzie Borden, and it's got Fiona Flanagan as Bridget Sullivan, the maid. And I mean, it's weird to see a young Fiona Flanagan because I recognize her from the movie The Others, which I talked about earlier on this channel too. So, if you want to see what she looks like as an older lady, go watch the movie The Others. But anyway, Elizabeth Montgomery did a really good job playing Lizzie. I have to tell you, I mean, she was really, really good at it. And like I said, this was released back in 1975, so you got to keep in mind it stinks of 1970s filmmaking. But here's an interesting detail: is Lizzie Borden and Elizabeth Montgomery are cousins. I'm serious. I mean, it's like look it up on Wikipedia. I'm not pulling your leg. It's actually either in the article about the legend of Lizzie Borden, or it's actually on there if I'm remembering correctly. It's like it stated on there on that page for that, that it did that. But yeah, I actually had seen, believe it or not, the ending of this movie on YouTube. Gosh, like, I'd say probably 5-6 years ago, and I just really wanted to see the rest of it, just because I was curious as into, like, how they portrayed it. But yeah, the Legend of Lizzie Borden is really worth a look, just because, it's got Elizabeth Montgomery in it, for one thing. Secondly, I just really happen to like true crime stories, and this one, and I mentioned this in the other video when I talked about Lizzie Borden took an axe. They believe that, Lizzie was in a fugue state or something. I'm 98% sure that Lizzie actually is guilty of the crime. Because, like, if you listen to all the facts in the case, I'm serious, there is, like, no possible way that somebody else could have done it. Because she was the only one there that had the means, the motive, and the wherewithal to do it. I mean, and the other thing is, and I didn't mention this in the other video, but, to put perspective on it, and this goes into, like the movie with Farrah Fawcett called The Burning Bed. Back in 1892, things were different, back then, 100 and some odd years ago. What, it was 129 years ago or something like that? Well, at any rate, way back when, that kind of, they wouldn't think that, some little girl, Lizzie wasn't a little girl, she was like in her 30s, would haul off and kill her parents. Of course, in the 20th century, if this happened, in like the 1900s, they'd have been like, really? They would have been like, honey, she went to a fugue state, she did this, things would have come out probably different. It's almost like what Richard Gere said in the movie Chicago about Jesus. If Jesus had $3,000 and lived today, things would have turned out a lot different. Well, if Lizzie Borden had lived in the 1900s, especially the last half of the 20th century, things would have been a lot different for her. She would have been doing the old rope dance, okay? She would have been dancing the old rope dance, and that would have been the end of it. You know, either that or they would have committed her to a nut house, okay? Because she did it. She killed both of them with an axe. Never could find the axe that did it, but she did it. You know, and they've made movies about it. Well, anyway, I do recommend watching The Legend of Lizzie Borden, just for no other reason than to see Elizabeth Montgomery. So, I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.